Who helps keep the calm amidst all the chaos? Joining me now is author and D.C. social expert Jennifer B. Pickens. Jennifer, okay, so let's start with the parties and all the parades. Who exactly is in charge of planning those? They have different committees, right?
Right. There are 3 different committees. Each one sort of has its own, component they're in charge of. The Joint Task Force, which includes the military, is certainly working on the parade, which will be such a wonderful festivity tomorrow. You have the Presidential Inaugural Committee, and the President actually appoints those people, and they work on all the official events with the exception of the swearing in. That's left to Congress with the Joint Congressional Committee. So everyone has their own unique role.
And you've got to wonder, too, as all of this is going on, the fun's going on, there's also behind-the-scenes concerns about security. You have the Secret Service and the FBI combing the place, making sure everything is just right. Have they been practicing all the what-ifs? Because they really have to.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have to remember we've been doing this in Washington for many, many, many years. So they are, well rehearsed. They know what to expect. They're really working on it. It's not like, many, many years ago, when you think about Andrew Jackson, and after his swearing in, he elected to have an open house at the White House. And they couldn't control the crowds. Thousands of people started entering the White House, and really things were destroyed, like dishes and crystal. People were standing on top of furniture in their muddy boots trying to get a glimpse of the president. They eventually pulled out tubs full of liquor trying to get people out of the White House to protect the president. So, the modern day inauguration is well rehearsed, and the security is, we can rest assured everyone's taking care of the president.
And Jennifer, you've been giving us some great tidbits. We're going to talk to you in just a little bit. Thank you so much for that. Let's get back to that inauguration that's going on today. Okay, so the inauguration's gone from, a small gathering of senators to today a nationwide event. There are so many messy moments from presidential inaugurations. Author Jennifer Pickens is joining us again with the Inside Scoop. Jennifer, you're full of information. Before we talk about this year's inauguration, there is a really interesting White House tradition when there's a change of presidents. Tell us about that.
Oh, absolutely. And some of my favorites of our more modern days is when there's a transition from one president to the next. And I often think of that inauguration of George Herbert Walker Bush. He was the vice president of Ronald Reagan, and he left a note for the president on the Oval Office, on his desk, and it started off with, "Don't let the turkeys get you down." And one of my favorite stories in doing the research for pets at the White House was certainly the note he left for his beloved squirrels, saying, "Beware of dog." First dog, Millie, was very famous for kind of messing with the wildlife of the south lawn of the White House. And so he had a custom stand warning all those squirrels.
Yeah, you got to wonder, at least with former, President Bush, if he left his dog, right? Wasn't it Barney left a note for Bo? I don't know.
So I don't know, but I love those notes and little things during that transition. I think it kind of gives us a peek into sort of the personal life and the soul, if you will, of our presidents and leaders.
What's traditional? I was really curious this morning as we were watching the swearings in of Vice President Joe Biden and of President Obama. You kind of got to wonder what goes through their minds in the morning as they're getting ready. What traditionally do they do? What do they eat for breakfast, for example?
It's different for each first family, but what I can tell you that they all would agree on is, the fun has already begun. Friends and family have arrived at the White House. I imagine every bedroom is full at the White House right now with, close friends and family members from both Michelle Obama's family and Barack Obama's family. And they're really having a wonderful time all being together. Mrs. Bush wrote in her autobiography that she loved, the first night in the White House when she went to sleep and the entire family was under one roof together.
Yeah, definitely a family event. Jennifer, I got to jump in because we have so much to talk about. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back.